98 FM's Dublin Talks. Call 6797 981.
Good morning and welcome along to Dublin Talks. It's Lauren Kelly standing in for Adrian Kennedy today on the show, and I would love to speak to you. Lots coming up a little later on. But first things first. Dara Calleary, the Minister for Agriculture, is no more. Did he have to go? Do you have any sympathy for him at all? I would love to speak to you today. You can drop me a WhatsApp message or a voice note. I'm on 087 798 98 98. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. 98 FM's Andrew Loth is on the line with me now. Hello, Andrew.
Good morning, Lauren.
Good to speak to you. Andrew, this has been everywhere this morning, but just for anyone just tuning in to the radio for the first time this morning, they're like, it's Dublin Talks time to turn on the radio. Who's Dara Calleary? What happened?
Well, Dara Calleary is the Deputy Party Leader of Fianna Fáil, and up until this morning he was also the Agriculture Minister. And he handed in his resignation after he was one of 81 people that attended an event in the west of Ireland in Clifton and Galway for the Oireachtas Golf Society to celebrate its 50th anniversary. And this took place on Wednesday night, which was 24 hours after new restrictions were imposed by the government on people to limit their movements and contacts and the number of people we can have in our home, the number of people we can sit at a table with in a restaurant, all of those new restrictions that were imposed. That Dara Calleary was sitting on the cabinet table that agreed to these new restrictions. So really, from the outset, once this story broke on the Irish Examiner last night, it was untenable what his position was going to be. And he wasn't the only Oireachtas member that was at this event. There were Fine Gael senators, Jerry Buttimer and John Cummins, who have both apologised for their appearance. Independent TD Noel Grealish from Galway, the former Attorney General and Supreme Court Judge Seamus Wolfe was at it, and a litany of former TDs and senators as well. Now, Dara Calleary, shortly after this story broke, apologised for attending the event. He said he had committed to it a number of weeks ago, when the plan was that during under the roadmap that 100 people would be allowed into these kind of events, but that had since changed and the roadmap was brought back. And he said he had committed to it, and in hindsight, with the new changes that had come in only on Tuesday, that it was a mistake for him to attend this event.
I'll be interested to hear what people think a little later on this, Andrew, because the event went ahead.
Yeah, and the event did go ahead, and the hotel, in a statement to the Irish Examiner, said that they had put up a partition in a room to separate the party. So there was, I think, 36 in one partition and 45 in another one. But from what the hotel said, the Station House Hotel in Clifton, it was their understanding, after consulting with the Irish Hotels Federation, that this would be okay. But it appears that, it appears that they've received some backlash as well as to why this event did go ahead. And you know, there's a lot of things to consider here. Not just the Oireachtas members that attended, but the hotel that held the event, who organised it. Could they all be in for some trouble as well? There's a lot of things to uncover in this storyline.
Well, Dara Calleary has lost his job as Minister for Agriculture. Is he to resign entirely, Andrew? What's your understanding of his future?
Well, my understanding is that he will remain as a backbench TD for Fianna Fáil. He has resigned his position for Minister for Agriculture. Of course, he tendered his resignation to the Taoiseach Micheál Martin this morning. And of course, don't forget, he's not long in this position. You may remember the story of the former Minister for Agriculture, Barry Cowan, and what happened with his penalty with getting his drink driving scandal and being on a provisional licence. And he had to tender his resignation after 70 days. And this is when Dara Calleary was promoted from the Chief Whip to the Minister for Agriculture. And it's only 37 days after that happened that he has had to tender his resignation. But no, my understanding is he will remain as a backbench TD for Fianna Fáil in the Dáil.
Not ideal. Quite a headache for the Taoiseach. What has the Taoiseach had to say this morning?
Well, the Taoiseach said that it was an error in judgment, and that he praised Dara Calleary for being just for the type of person that he is, and that this is something that is out of character for him. But he did say that this was a serious error of judgment, and that he basically had no option but to accept this resignation. It's understood that the pair did talk last night after the story broke. The details of that conversation I'm not 100% sure of, but my understanding was that the Taoiseach was not happy at all with, and don't forget, this is his number two, this is his right-hand man here that we're talking about as well, and my understanding was the Taoiseach wasn't happy with what had happened, especially when you consider, as I said earlier, Dara Calleary was at Cabinet on Tuesday that signed off on these recommendations from the National Public Health Emergency Team to impose these restrictions, and then less than 24 hours later, he's at this event.
Okay, very interested to hear people's thoughts on this one today. Andrew Louth for 98FM, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lauren.
Good to have you on the show. I'd love to hear from you on this one. You know, when you hear Andrew say, you know, Dara Calleary signed off on these restrictions, it's such a strange time, and a lot of people are doing things, and then maybe afterwards, I've done it myself, in different circumstances, gone, okay, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, or I didn't realise there was going to be so many people there. But for, a government minister to be at a golf event with 80 other people on Wednesday night, less than 24 hours after these restrictions had been announced, really doesn't cut the mustard. Sure it doesn't. So Dara Calleary has resigned this morning. I would like to hear from you. Was he right to resign? Do you have any sympathy at all for him? And do you believe that there is still an awful lot of people who just aren't taking the restrictions seriously? Maybe you feel a bit hard done by. Maybe there's things in your life, maybe there's events you've had to postpone or maybe not been able to attend. And then you see other people going to golf societies. How does that make you feel when you see other people not taking the restrictions seriously? Get in touch with Dublin Talks today. I'm on 087 798 98 98. I would love you can WhatsApp or you can voice note. But I would love a voice note. Great to hear the voices. Get involved in the conversation and let me know your thoughts. And as I said, if you have any sympathy for Dara Calleary at all, or the other 80 heads that were at the Golf Society, get involved in the conversation. I would like to speak to you. I have a voice note from Pete here. He's not too sympathetic.
Morning, Lauren. How you doing? Just regarding that minister resigning, absolutely the right thing to do, because this country has been run by absolute monkeys at the moment. So, sack the monkeys and let's start getting proper people into power that are actually going to adhere to the rules and not think they're above everybody else. It's always been the same in this country. We've always had politicians thinking they're better than everybody else. I see this on a regular basis.
Do politicians think they're better than everybody else? Would you feel the same as Pete? We need to get proper people in to run this country. Well, here's the thing. We're stuck with this lot. I was asking in the office this morning, do people feel that maybe... I know there's a lot of people out there maybe don't support Leo Varadkar, but, I did feel in the beginning of all this, we were all in it together. There was a lot of optimism. We were like, right, we'll stick together, and we were spoken to like we were a team. And there was a lot of compassion there. I don't know, do you still feel that there's that same vibe to things at the moment? Or do you feel there's this sense of, well, do as we say, but not as we do? And how are you feeling about the government this morning? That, Dara Calleary, yes, he's lost his job, but Micheál Martin is going on about what a great guy he is. Are you frustrated this morning hearing that news? Get involved. Love the voice notes. I'm on 087 798 98 98. It's Lauren Kelly in for Adrian Kennedy today on Dublin Talks. John in Roscommon says, morning. Absolute disgrace. I didn't see my parents for 4 months or my grandkids. My daughter cancelled her wedding twice, yet they can go to Galway playing golf. They should all be sacked from their position. And that's what I'm talking about, is this feeling of, hang on now, I didn't get to go to a family funeral. I had to move my wedding. I haven't been able to see my family. My parents haven't been able to pick up my children. Things like that. And yet this golf society went ahead on Wednesday night. How does that make you feel? And just in general, right? It maybe you're sick of giving out about politicians. Just in general life, when you hear of people going and doing certain things and attending certain events or meeting up in groups, how does it make you feel if you're sticking to the restrictions and you're doing what you're told? Get involved in the conversation. Would love to hear from you. Joe is on Dublin Talks. Hiya, Joe.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks very much, Joe. How are you feeling this morning at Dara Calleary's behaviour?
Well, it's just another example of what we have to put up with, I suppose, you know. The only thing I really hope is that he doesn't get a pension from this department.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they get pensions just for being there. So, you know, if he's after resigning or whatever he's done as the minister, he'd be entitled to a pension for this, for being in that role. That's my understanding of their salary, the way they pay themselves, you know.
And how does that make you feel, Joe?
Well, there's people on there before me to say that they haven't been able to see their parents in over 4 months, you know. It's just disgraceful. It really is. It's one rule for you and it's another rule for me. So it's no wonder the cases are going up, you know. They really don't care. They don't care.
I was saying a few minutes ago, Joe, that when all this started and when Leo used to chat to us on the telly and quote Mean Girls, I did feel like we were all in this together and that, you know, we were going to get through it. And yes, it was hard, but the country in a way was united. Whoever you support politically, whatever you do for a living, we were all in it together. Do you feel like that has changed now with the change of government?
It has totally changed. It changed in the spirits of most of the people of this city when it was announced that Micheál Martin was going to be Taoiseach. I don't think that he's the man for the job. The whole thing has just gone right down the tubes since that party took over. I think that Leo Varadkar, being a man in medicine, and Simon Harris, in fairness to him, he was so dedicated to people's health. He was very, very honest. We all knew exactly where we were on the daily basis with him. And now we have smug faces standing in front of us on the telly night after night, telling lies after lies, and they haven't a clue what they're saying, but they know what they're doing. They're heading off to Galway for events such as like what took place for Dara on Wednesday evening. Now here I am, I haven't darkened the door as such, apart from going to the supermarket. And you know, I suppose if I had a party in my house, the guards would probably knock on the door. So, like, it just doesn't make sense, you know? The whole thing is it's just mad, really and truly.
And politicians aside, Joe, do you feel that has filtered down into the general public, that there is people, you know, picking and choosing the restrictions that suit them? And as you said, you've been quite strict. You've only gone to the supermarket. You wouldn't dream of having a house party. Do you think people are starting to kind of pull back a bit and not take it as seriously?
What I have noticed is that there's a lot of people are using the philosophy monkey see, monkey do. They're not taking this whole thing really that serious. They think that because if I get it, I'll be fine and all the rest of it. They don't seem to realise, I only heard there during the week of a party of people that have come home from Ibiza, and the majority of them have the COVID. And one of the cases has filtered into a house where one of the family members have only just finished on chemo, and another member of the family has pretty serious underlying illness. Now that family is in quarantine and waiting on the results of their COVID testing. So it's monkey see, monkey do. So it's one rule for you and another for me. And if I'm going to do whatever I want, everybody is just doing whatever they want. I think that's it now, what's happening. And what we really need to do is we need to impress on people to cop on before September, middle of September, when our flu season starts. We need to suppress this once again. With 3 weeks, I'd say, to suppress it as quickly as we can. And we have fools like that man doing what he's doing. And I'm very surprised to hear that we have High Court judges and everything sitting in his company. It's just ludicrous. These are supposed to be intelligent people with no common sense.
Yeah. Really good to speak
it's
to you. You're very reasonable, I have to say, because I know there is people spitting over this, but you make some great points. Thanks for coming on Dublin Talks.
Thanks for having me.
Good
Bye
to
now.
speak to you today. I think Jo makes some really valid points. I think a lot of people will agree with her that it's kind of monkey see, monkey do. Get involved. I'm on 087 7 98 98 98. I have Derek next with a voice note. He is very annoyed about this.
Morning guys, Derek here. I actually don't think that he should have resigned. I think he shouldn't even had the chance to resign. He should have been sacked straight away, and all of them that were with him should be sacked as well. It's a total disgrace. I mean, we can't even go on holidays locally because we're locked in. I'm in Kildare. I can't go on my holidays. Well, I'm done with it now, and I'm going on my holidays, and I'm not going to listen to them anymore.
Now, I don't know, Derek, if that is the best approach either. And I get the frustration. I get the people are angry. And it's exactly what Jo just said. Monkey see, monkey do. Well, if they're doing it, then we're going to do it. That is going to wind us up right back at square one. So, Derek, I would urge you, please stick to the restrictions. He's in Kildare at the moment, as he said. Now he's like, do you know what, feck it. If they're going to go, I'm going to go. What are your thoughts on that? Can you understand, appreciate where Derek is coming from? Tracy is completely fed up. She's next.
Hey, I'm sick of the government, to be fair. I'm sick of this whole, they step down and all is forgotten. I think they should be held accountable as well. I mean, it's just gone ridiculous now. And even, I know what you're saying about Varadkar. Yeah, he did give us kind of that little sense of kind of comfort when you listen to him talking, but he is still there. He's not gone anywhere. He's tarnished it. Where is he? I'm just sick of the whole lot of them. And that carry on. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, fair play, Tracy. Actually, good point. Leo, it's not like he's, cozied up, chilling out in an Airbnb somewhere. He's still at work. He's still involved in this. Now, I know there was a row between himself and Micheál Martin during the week, but, he is our Taoiseach and we need him. Where are you, Leo? If you want to get involved, 087 7 98 98 98. Emma reckons the whole thing went to pot when Leo went over from Taoiseach to Taoiseach.
Honestly, I think Micheál Martin is probably the stupidest person I've ever had to come across. I'm not a fan of Leo Varadkar, but I would literally take him any day over Micheál Martin. Leo Varadkar did a lot of things I don't agree with, but he handled this virus so well. He made the country feel like we were all together. Micheál Martin, I feel like it's just a joke. I mean, the comment that one of the other members made about the trampoline the other day, it's this whole thing is such a joke at the moment. My granny's 99. I want to hug her before she goes because I know I don't have long. But if people like this keep doing these stupid things, that's never going to happen again. It's just so irritating.
That's Emma there. And I've all the feels listening to Emma. I can completely relate. I felt like Leo had her back, and I felt like, as Jo said there on the phone a minute ago, Simon Harris was so dedicated and, he was chatting to kids on Twitter and reassuring us. I don't know, maybe, would this have happened anyway as this continued? Maybe we were all very optimistic in the beginning, and as time went on, we all started to waver a bit. Or do you feel, no, it has been this change in government? And I think it was Stephen Donnelly on about the trampolines, but listen, let's not even get into that. We've Karen on the line. Hiya, Karen.
Thank you.
Karen, what are your thoughts this morning?
I just had enough. I have my kids ready to go back to school next week. They're all packed. I have the uniforms, the shoes, the bags. And this is really making me second guess it. Do I send them back? Are they being used as, kind of test dummies? Send the kids back and we'll see what happens. I have no confidence in the government now. Just bring back Leo and Simon and the gang, and they did a much better job. I so much more confidence in them than just the mess that's going on at the minute.
It does feel like, and I don't know if this is a generational thing, Micheál Martin, Dara Calleary, that whole gang, I just don't know if they're as relatable. Going to a golf society do in Clifton on Wednesday night, I really do feel like, I mentioned Simon Harris there on Twitter to school kids. I just felt like they had our back. We could relate to them. They were talking to us. They were involving us in a lot of it.
Yeah, they were very much more relatable, more current. I think they even older generations were starting to relate to them. Compared to now, they're a bit old school and a bit kind of one rule for them, another for the rest of us, and they're more superior than the general public. Whereas I felt we were more sort of equals with the likes of Leo and Simon Harris.
So,
They
come
were more
here,
relatable.
tell me, what have you been told about the plan for going back to school?
The plan for going back to school, well, I only heard about it yesterday or the day before. My kids go to a very small school. I mean, one of them, there's only 9 in their class, so the protocols will be different to some of the larger schools. Yeah, look, I'm confident with them going back. I just feel like the government hasn't suppressed COVID-19 enough for me to confidently think schools are going to stay open by Christmas. Schools are going to be closed before Christmas again because they don't have numbers under control. Whereas if this was a couple of months ago or a couple of weeks ago when Leo was still in power, the numbers were much better, and I would have been more confident that kids could have gone back for a longer spell. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll only be back a couple of weeks, and with flu season and everything else approaching, it's not going to work.
How are they going to manage it? Like, kids are all going to be sniffling and snotting and temperatures
exactly.
and things.
So, like, I have 2 going back. So if one ends up with just your average cough, do I have to take her out, get her tested, and take the other child out as well? And are the kids that are sitting at his table, do they have to be out? I mean, what is the general consensus? I mean, schools have come up with their own sort of protocols, but what is the overall rule? Surely the government can step in and say, okay, this is the general rule of thumb for schools, and this is what everybody follows. You know, so
it's very tricky.
Things like that, and even the schools are not 100% sure.
No.
What to do in the event of, kids being sick, or if someone's sick, what's the knock-on effect?
Well, look, Karen, all we can do is wait and see. The best luck with it, though. I know it's a stressful time for you. Thanks for coming on today.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Good to speak to you. That's Karen there. She has kids going back to school, doesn't know what's up, what's down. And a lot of messages coming through are saying the same as Karen, that we just felt when Leo Varadkar was Taoiseach, when Simon Harris was Minister for Health, we were involved. And we knew what was going on. It was all laid out and we were spoken to a bit more clearly. It feels like no one really knows what's going on at the moment. Do you agree? Maybe you completely disagree with me. I'd love to speak to you today. I'd like to hear your thoughts on Dara Calleary resigning this morning. Any sympathy for him at all out there? And how does it make you feel when other people break the rules?
Daily COVID-19 discussion and information.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Good morning. It's Lauren Kelly standing in for Adrian Kennedy this morning on Dublin Talks, and I would love to speak to you. There are many messages coming through with thoughts and opinions on the news this morning that Minister for Agriculture Dara Calleary has resigned from his position after attending an event on Wednesday night. There was over 80 people at this Golf Society event. Not good. I can feel your frustration, Dublin. Keep the messages coming. I would love to speak to you. I have Dermot on the line. Hi, Dermot.
Morning, Lauren. How are you?
Good, thanks very much. Dermot, you've any sympathy at all for Dara Calleary, do you?
Zero. Or this government, to be totally honest with you. Micheál's lost 2 ministers now. The chap that's in charge was a Fáilte Ireland. He went as well. I know it's nothing to do with the government, but I can guarantee you, before this is all over, before we see Christmas, the Minister for Education will be gone as well once the kids come back to school. The government is untenable. That's the honest truth. It's not fit for purpose.
So how are you feeling in general about day-to-day life, Dermot? Like, how do you feel about going out yourself with the restrictions? Do you feel people in general are starting to take the mick?
Yeah. You see, I walk the whole way through this, and I walk with the public as well. So, the government aren't. I don't think it's down to the government as such. I don't think they have a clue what they're doing, and they've let Neffet just actually run amok. Like, what makes our experts any more better than German experts or Italian experts or French experts? They just seem to be I will throw it out there and see what happens. Roll the dice. But no, people are just doing their own thing. As in, if they start to take more responsibility for themselves, I think we'd be in a much better position without the government sending out these stupid mixed messages. Like, even take, for example, the young kids with, football. Parents can't stand at the sideline. Then you have no football games because how do you go to away matches? Teams have to play each other. You have to bring them there. You can't go back to collect them.
To be fair, right, I have felt from day one that, like, a lot of it is like, okay, but if we do that, then there's this knock-on effect, or then there's this will happen, and then that'll happen. And, like, none of this is ideal none of this really works out great. There's lots of things that, well, it won't be like this anymore and we won't have that anymore. We just kind of have to adapt as we go. But the feeling I'm getting from a lot of the messages, particularly the voice notes this morning, is just this frustration with even the way we're being spoken to by the government with this lot.
I'll tell you exactly what it is, Lauren. We're being led by fear, because we don't hear the positives. We've actually stopped giving up on, the ages. We say we have 2 more deaths today, but you don't give the medium age anymore. You know?
Yeah.
And I've noticed that as well. Like, you never hear, okay, there's 98% of people have recovered. We would have a serious problem in this country if the deaths started to rise in line with the ages that are being reported of people getting COVID now. Our ICUs aren't overflowing. They're not. The hospitals aren't flat out now the door. All we're really doing is we're trying to protect a health system that cannot cope with a winter vomiting bug. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
99.9% of people recover from this. And that's the truth. I think if we all just got out and got it and killed our vulnerable, our sick and our elderly for a month and said, right, that's it. Let the rest of us get on with it. Let nature take its course. That's being totally honest with you. We'll take our own precautions. No, but I know it sounds really bad. But other countries didn't go into lockdown and we're no better and no worse than we are now.
Do you think there's just something about us, Dermot, we just don't like being told what to do? We did it. There was a window of time. We were like, right, Leo, we'll do what you tell us, and we were all on board.
No. The way we're all singing Leo's praises, that's not right there either. He just felt lucky.
I don't know how lucky he is, Dermot.
No, as in he was in charge of a caretaker government that he knew would have had to form a government anyway. So, he said all the speeches were plagiarised. Simon Harris done a blinding job. Leo, not so much. Okay. And I think Leo knew what he was doing by not standing with Micheál Martin there the other day. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. He was a bit Slovenish in that way, because he's rubbing his hands now going, now, like I said it before 1,000 times, we have the same bus. We've a little bit of a green update on it, but we've only changed drivers. It's the same government. Don't be fooled.
All right, Dermot. Great to hear from you. Thanks for coming on Dublin Talks today.
Bye-bye.
It's the same bus, just new drivers. Would you agree with Dermot on that? I love that. And do you reckon there's a bit of a Slovene to Leo? Let me know. I'm on 087 798 98 98. You can drop us a WhatsApp or a voice note. Emily is hanging on there. Hi, Emily. Thanks for waiting.
How are you? No worries.
I'm good. How are you feeling this morning, Emily?
Well, yeah, frustrated. I'm just sick of hearing it now. Do you know that way? It's just one thing after the other. I don't know why anyone expects any change from this government. It's the exact same. Exactly what he said. They're the exact same government. No difference. They don't care. All they care about is lining their pockets. That's all they care about.
Do you think we would have got here anyway, that the change of personnel has had nothing to do with it? That at this point, I think Katie said it this morning in the office, we are just fatigued at this stage.
Yeah, I think people are just sick of it now. It's and not even that, you're watching, they're going out, having a big party, 80 people at a golf party, and we're all sitting in a home. Crazy. One rule for them, one rule for us.
What have you missed out on in the last few months, Emily? Have you had to postpone anything, not see loved ones?
I'm working in an orphan home, so it's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's been stressful, I'd say.
Yeah. But you have to do it.
And what's the long term, Emily? What have you been told or have you been advised? Is this just the way it's going to be for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, we'll just keep going. We don't know, but it wouldn't, even when you're going into work, the rules change every time you go in. Do you know that it's crazy? I don't know. I'm just sick of listening to it.
Fed up altogether. Okay, don't worry. We'll move on to something new in a few minutes, Emily. Good to speak to you today. Thanks for coming on Dublin Talks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Emil. It's Lauren Kelly in for Adrian Kennedy this morning, and I would love to hear from you. I know, listen, COVID. But this morning, Dara Calleary resigning, it just is that feeling of hold on a second. If you're not taking the restrictions seriously, how do you expect us to? Now, I mentioned the WhatsApp voice notes, getting loads of them in. This is Carmel. Now, Carmel is very upset about things.
I totally agree with you. I think that Leo, Simon and Tony should be brought back in. At least when they spoke to you in the evening time, you understood what they were saying. They made us all feel like a team, that we are all working together. Now, this government is just a laugh. I think Leo Varadkar should come back. And I think that the people of this country, at least they listened to him because he spoke our language. He didn't use all these big words. Micheál Martin hasn't a clue what he was talking about. And yes, those ministers, every one of them, should have resigned, because I'm in lockdown. Offaly and Laois have their lockdown lifted, but I'm in Kildare and I can't. My lockdown is still here. I can't go on my holidays. What am I to do? Like, it's that breaking point with people. I couldn't attend funerals that I needed to go to. Sorry, I can't come on air.
That's completely fair enough, Carmel, and I can hear in your voice how upset you are, but thank you for leaving the voice note. If, like Carmel, you want to drop us a voice note, love to hear them. 0877 98 98 98. And you hear it in Carmel's voice there, how hard this has been on her, how upsetting it is to not be able to attend funerals. Maybe you've had to bury someone that you love, but yet Dara Calleary and the gang head off to the Golf Society do in Clifton on Wednesday night. How does that make you feel? Get involved. I would love to speak to you. JD says the whole thing of we're all in this together is an absolute joke.
Good morning, JD here. It just goes to show what the government say, we're all in it together. That's out the window, isn't it, really? It's just that they can do what they want to do and we can't. Terrible. Disgraceful. Good luck.
JD, no messing. Good luck. But that is the thing, and I think that's what people are fed up with. But, you know, Emily, who was on a few minutes ago, was saying she's just so fed up with the whole thing. I think maybe Emily is right. We would have got here anyway. I think we're just so over it now. And then this kind of thing happening on Wednesday night just frustrates people even more. Now, I know a lot of people have been given out about Dara Calleary today and Micheál Martin, and there's been a few people haven't had many nice things to say about Leo Varadkar or Simon Harris either. It's just a change of personnel, but the government is still the same. Let's have a chat about people in your own lives. Like, do you see other people maybe not taking the restrictions as seriously? How does that make you feel if, as I said, like Carmel, like you haven't been able to go to funerals? You haven't maybe been able to see your family, or you had to postpone your wedding? How does that make you feel when you see other people bending the rules to suit themselves? 087 98 98 98. We have Connor next.
How you doing, Lauren? Doing a good job this morning. Listen, to be perfectly honest with you, that lad that was saying that we should all just go out and get COVID-19, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I know a couple of people who work in the health service, and one of them in particular got coronavirus, and she's 32 years of age and she's still suffering heart palpitations, and who knows the long-term effects of this. So you can't just wing that and just say we should just get herd immunity for this. But at the same point, he does have a very good point. Like, I mean, it's very directional, this, and it's very we'll pick a couple of things out to maybe try and help stop the spread of it, but it's all very contradictory. And there's no real kind of end goal. You know, are we looking for suppression? Are we looking for long-term suppression? Are we just looking for suppression for a couple of months and then try and open it back up again in a wing manner, and for it all to kind of spark up again? You know, it's all seems to be pointless and meaningless direction, to be perfectly honest.
Thanks for that, Connor, and you're very kind. Yeah, Lauren Kelly standing in for Adrian Kennedy on Dublin Talks this morning, so would love to speak to you. But Connor makes some great points there, that look, we're just winging it a bit at this stage. And look, that's fair enough. And I'd nearly feel if the government would own that a bit and be like, listen lads, we're as clueless as you are, and we're taking it day by day and we just don't know. And maybe that's the difference between, you know, the original crew and what's going on now, is that we were all clueless in the beginning and we were spoken to like that, as Carmel said. You know, we were all in it together. But, you know, you heard JD there a couple of minutes ago on the voice note saying, nah, that's ridiculous. We were never in this together. Let me know your thoughts today on Dublin Talks. We have Joe on the line next. Hiya, Joe.
Hi, guys.
Joe, what's your feelings on this morning? Any sympathy at all for Dara Calleary?
Not particularly, no. And I've no sympathy either for any of the EU commissioners that was there, the TDs and the other journalists. And I'll take this lightly as well. Some of them journalists could work for you as well, that were at that frigging golf resort.
Well, to the best of my knowledge, there was no 98.
I'm not saying it's your job, but yeah. As a collective, like, because you work with other stations and other journalists, so why is this one fella getting lashed out of it when nobody else is?
Yeah, why do you think that is? Why is Dara Calleary the only person to resign this morning?
Because he's just one that's a scapegoat, isn't he? He's one that's in the public's view. Mm-hmm. You don't see these other journalists in the news. We only see Dara on the news, I mean.
Mm-hmm. Now, there has been people named and there has been other people apologising and things like that this morning, but the Minister for Agriculture has lost his job and you just think he's a bit of a scapegoat.
Yeah, so why has he lost the job and not the other ones? And the other ones only saying, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Why haven't they lost the job?
Yeah.
Why couldn't I just say, I'm sorry?
What are your feelings on the way things are at the moment, Joe, and the restrictions and whether or not they're being taken seriously?
I think on a different perspective anyway, so I'm not going to go down that road just yet.
I would love to hear a different perspective. Go for it. The air is yours, Joe.
I do not believe that we're dealing with the Black Plague that they're portraying either. I believe that the virus is there, but I don't believe it's the Black Plague as they're portraying. And I think, as I say, there's lots of hypocrisy around it, and that's why.
So you maybe feel that the restrictions are a bit harsh, do you?
Well, yeah.
How has your life been affected? Are you working at the moment? Have you been able to see family?
I work. I'm a plumber, so my work theoretically is essential work.
Okay.
Because if people aren't home, like washing themselves and stuff like that, then my work is essential to them.
Okay. And have you been able to go into people's homes?
Yeah, every day since friggin' before all this happens. Not once I've been stopped going into someone's house, because if you want your toilet fixing or your boiler or your shower, you will let me into your gaff regardless of wearing a mask or anything. You want your boiler fixed, you let me in.
And that's the thing, and we spoke about this before, is that what's essential to one person might not be essential to another person, but I think we'd all be agreed that your plumbing is fairly essential.
Yeah.
So you've been working away, luckily, and from meeting people day to day, obviously people having a chat with you in their homes. Are people taking the restrictions seriously, Joe?
To an extent, I'd say, yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, they still question it. Why are we taking it seriously?
Okay.
Like, I mean, they're seeing it themselves as well. Like, so I think more people just need to sort of cop on a little bit as well, and don't be just making that Dara the scapegoat, because there was plenty more there. The hotel as well. The hotel haven't made a statement, have they?
The hotel have made a statement, yeah, they have.
They have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, I haven't heard that or seen that yet. Apologise for that. And what about the organisers?
Yeah, no, there's been a good few statements now, but as you said, Dara Calleary's the only one out of a job so far today anyway, so we'll keep an eye on that. But really nice to speak to you today, Joe.
Right, no problem. Sure, thank you very much.
Good to have you on Dublin Talks. There's still lots of messages coming in on this, so I will get to them in just a sec. You can get involved on WhatsApp. I'm on 087 798 98 98.
Up-to-date coronavirus discussion for Dublin.
This is 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
It's Lauren Kelly standing in for Adrian Kennedy on Dublin Talks today. Still lots of WhatsApps and messages coming through to me. I will get back to them in just a few. But I would like to know, what are the things you're still uneasy about doing at the moment? So, travelling on public transport, getting on a plane, going for a swim in your local pool, going out to the pub for a drink and some food now, or even heading to a theme park like Tato Park or the zoo, or heading to the gym if that's what you're into. They're just some of the many things you can do now during the pandemic, but not everyone is running back to the gym yet, diving into the pool and heading out for a family day out to a theme park. Yesterday we spoke to one gym owner who said that even though they're open for business, only 30% of clients have returned. And a cinema worker also was in touch to say that cinema attendance is down about 50% since they reopened. So I would really like to hear from you. Are there things that maybe you're still a bit uneasy about doing, like everyday things that you would have loved doing, that you would have, jumped at doing in the past, but now you're a bit like, oh, I'd love to go to the cinema, but I'm just still not feeling great about it. And will it be a while before you think about heading back to do it? And also, if you have ventured out to go to the cinema or to a theme park, did you get a negative reaction when you told people what you were doing, or maybe you put a few selfies up on Instagram? What did people have to say? I'd love to hear from you. Get involved. I'm on WhatsApp 087 798 98 98. But speaking of WhatsApp messages, I have many in on the earlier topic. We were talking about Dara Calleary resigning as Minister for Agriculture, the whole vibe around the new restrictions and how the government are executing them. So I would like to hear from you. And first up is Connor.
How are you doing, Lauren? Doing a good job this morning.
Oh, I played Connor already. Sorry, hang on. Here's Stephen. He thought we were all being a bit harsh.
I think you should be really giving them lads a break. Them fellas are on highly stressed jobs, them lads. Like, you know what I mean? It was only a game of golf, a bit of dinner, maybe a little sing-song afterwards. Given the opportunity, I'll tell you what, I would be on the golf situation. I'd be right up there.
Oh, Stephen, I think you're a bit of a messer. But anyway, it was only a game of golf. Come on now. And just breaking came in there. who was on earlier on, Joe, had made the point that no one else has resigned over this, that Dara Calleary's been a bit of a scapegoat. Fine Gael's Jerry Buttimer has resigned this morning as well. That just broke during that ad break. Sarah has been on the WhatsApp voice notes as well.
It's so true what that lady was saying about Leo making everybody feel like a team. The way he spoke to people, he followed the rules as well. Him and Simon Harris, I think they did such a better job, and I think that they would be doing a much better job now as well if they were in government. I just think Micheál Martin is making, he's just going to run it into the ground, and he's really going to do damage.
I think the perception, is what you're talking about, Sarah, and a lot of people have made that point today. It's just the way we were spoken to, the way the restrictions were executed. I mentioned a couple of times earlier on, like Simon Harris answering kids' questions on Twitter. They got involved. They were in it with us. A lot of people think I'm being awful soft. Dermot was on earlier on saying, listen, it's just a change of driver. The bus is still the same. He doesn't have any, feelings towards Leo Varadkar, that the government is government, whatever the situation. Maybe we're just fatigued at this point. Lillian has been on the WhatsApp voice notes and her blood is boiling.
Hi, Lauren, Lillian here. I think it's an absolute disgrace at this stage. I am bloody sick of it. I haven't seen my mother. She's in a nursing home in Kilcock and I haven't seen her since February. And the staff, everybody in the staff in the place have done what they're told to do by keeping the families away. So I don't know at this stage. It makes my blood boil. Enough is enough.
Here's the thing, enough is enough, and we've been saying that throughout the last 50 minutes or so, but we still have restrictions in place. We still have rules we have to abide by. And what has really upset a lot of people today is that some people take them seriously and some people don't. Now, Dara Calleary is gone. He has lost his job this morning. Fine Gael's Jerry Buttimer is behind him. Is that enough, do you think? We'll leave it there for now, but look, as always, you can continue the conversation on the Facebook page, Adrian Kennedy and Jeremy Dixon. It's up there, Dublin Talks. All the content stays there after the show, so you can get involved and voice your opinions online when we're finished talking about it. I was asking just a few minutes ago, what are the things, though, that you're still uneasy about doing? Like, obviously, with the lift in some restrictions, a lot of people are running out the door. They're going having pints. They're having a bite to eat. They're meeting friends. They're meeting family. For fear of God, we go into lockdown again. I think people are just trying to get out of the house. You can even get on a plane now a bit easier or go for a swim in your local pool. I would like to hear from you now about some of the things that possibly you could do, but maybe you're a bit uneasy about doing. And I mentioned that one gym owner had been in touch to say that they are open for business, but only 30% of clients have returned to the gym. So have you returned to the likes of the gym, the swimming pool? How did you feel about doing it? Did you kind of backtrack afterwards and go, oh, maybe that wasn't the best idea I've ever had? Or interestingly, have you had a negative reaction from people when perhaps you've put up photos on Instagram or you've told people that you've gone to certain events or to certain places? What has their reaction been? Get involved. I would love to hear from you. You can WhatsApp 087 798 98 98. Peter is on the line. Hiya, Peter.
Hey, how you getting on, Lauren?
Good, thanks, Peter. I mentioned the gym there because I think it's a big one for a lot of people. Have you been back to the gym?
No, I haven't. And my gym is the one in UCD. And not like it's a fantastic facilities. It's huge. But it's just something that I just can't get my head around yet. Is to get back into the gym or even into the pool, It's quite daunting because I'm half afraid of picking something up, unfortunately, because of the amount that we sweat and perspire in the gym. Mm-hmm. I swim a lot as well. Now I know, like they say, chlorine and whatnot can kill 99% of the bacteria, but it's still like when I swim, I swim in lanes behind people. Yeah. And same with other people, and you're breathing in and breathing out. You're exhaling under the water, so who's to say that one small little particle is not going to,
you find yourself kind of questioning, is that essential? Like, do I have to do it? And if you don't, why would you?
For me, for the last few years, it would have been really essential because I've been training for a lot of big events,
Okay.
And it would have been something that I would have had to do. But now that everything's up in the air, event-wise, it's something that now I just will not, take the chance because I don't need to. You know, so it's a case of, you know what, just leave it on the side burner for now. But the other problem is though is that, you know, I'm fattening the curve rather than flattening it now. You know, which is becoming a bit of an issue.
Thanks for getting in touch, Peter. Yeah, I know. Listen, we're all in the same boat in that way. Don't worry about it.
You still look the same, just a bit bigger.
Good to have you on Dublin Talks today. Thanks a million.
Bye.
Yeah, you kind of have to question, you know, what is essential, what maybe, you know, do I really need to go to the cinema? But listen, maybe you've been locked up. Maybe your kids just need a day out, you know. But is the backlash maybe what you're worried about? Chris is on WhatsApp voice notes and is a bit uneasy about heading out.
We went to the pub there a couple of weeks ago for my missus' birthday, and it just didn't feel right at all. Like, you know, you were there, but you didn't really feel like you should be there. You know, you felt like you were breaking some sort of rules. And the same with the gym. Like, you know, it just doesn't feel like a place you should be going, you know, mingling with people and, like, you know, trying to keep good hygiene with all this stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will agree with you, Chris. It just doesn't feel right in some ways. I would love to hear from you the things that you can do now, but maybe you're a little uneasy about doing, or you might get a negative reaction if you tell people that you're doing it. Get in touch with Dublin Talks. It's Lauren Kelly in for Adrian Kennedy today. I'm on 087 7 98 98 98. Emma's up next with the headlines. 98. Still lots to come on Dublin Talks, but first, here's Emma with the headlines.
Possible breaches of COVID-19 guidelines at an Oireachtas dinner in Galway on Wednesday night. Former Agriculture Minister Dara Calleary has resigned after attending the event with 80 others in Clifton. An investigation is underway after a man in his late teens was attacked in Balbriggan. He was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries following the assault at around 9 p.m. on Wednesday night. The Education Minister says parents whose children can't social distance on school buses can be reimbursed for organising alternative transport. The department has scrapped plans to run buses at full capacity for secondary school students. And Dún Laoghaire-Rathdown County Council is warning people to stay out of the water at Sea Point Beach. Test results have shown an increase in bacteria after overflows from the wastewater network. And now you're up to date on 98.
98 FM's Dublin Talks. Call 6797 981.
You can call us on that, or you can drop me a WhatsApp voice note on 087 7 98 98 98. Before the news break there, I was asking you about the things that you can do now, but maybe you're a little uneasy about doing them. Lots of messages coming in on that one, but first I have Aoife on the line. Hi, Aoife.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks very much. What is it that you're a bit uneasy about, Aoife?
About the gym, well, I was at the start. Now I'm actually fine because, like, I'm in the Flight Fit in 100 and they're, like, so thorough. Like, as soon as you literally leave the machine, they're cleaning. So it's unreal, like. Mm-hmm. It kind of feels like normal, but, like, there's barely anyone in the gym, so you could just go do your workout and you don't have to, like, queue for weights or anything. It's great.
That's good. And I suppose a lot of gyms are having to limit the amount of people in, so you don't have that wait that you might have had in the past at peak times, which is great. When you went back the first day ever, you know, I know a lot of people like to post selfies in the gym. So were you telling people that you were going to the gym? Were you putting it up on Instagram?
No, I didn't. I was too scared.
This is it, because you might get the judges on your Instagram having a go.
100%.
Throughout all of this, Aoife, has there been things that you've done that you're like, oh, I'm not going to put that on social media?
Probably going to the pub, even though, like, you know, you're sitting in your seat, you're still a bit scared. But I was at my sister's wedding this weekend and I put pictures up and everyone was actually really nice. Like, I was kind of like, oh, people right now, like, oh, you shouldn't be going to weddings. But no, everyone was really nice about it.
That's good to hear. Did your sister obviously had to change plans majorly, did she?
Oh, big time. So her wedding was it was in Mullingar for the church part, and then the reception was in Laois, and that got closed down. So literally within 5 days, she managed to plan her wedding in the Bloomfield in Mullingar. Like, they were amazing. I couldn't believe they turned the wedding around so quickly.
And on the day, were you aware of restrictions? Were you all quite mindful of spacing, things like that, or did you throw caution to the wind for the day?
You see, it was kind of only like close friends and family. Like, it was a tiny wedding, so like I'd been around everyone, so it was kind of fine. Mm-hmm. But there was like hand sanitizer and all that. But like, she was very smart. She made them cover them up with flowers, like, so like they were there. But, like, you know, they were kind of hidden, so they won't be in the photos.
Yeah. Because I think a big part of it for people is what other people might think, what other people might say. You know, you don't want to appear to be being careless. So how long did it take for you to, you mentioned when you went back to the gym initially you were a bit uneasy. How long did it take you to settle back into the swing of things?
Maybe a week. It wasn't too long. Yeah, I'd say probably a week.
Okay. So if anyone is listening who's a bit iffy about returning to the gym, you reckon that they're on it? Well, your gym is anyway.
Yeah, they're amazing. Like, as soon as you get off the machine, they're there cleaning, and like there's hardly anyone there, so it's so good.
Nice and chill by the sounds of things. Aoife, thanks for coming on Dublin Talks.
Cheers, thanks so much.
Good to speak to you today. What baffles me, says this listener, is restrictions on numbers in shops, which I agree with, yet I've braved the Pavilions shopping centre on Tuesday to bring back online orders, and the number of people roaming around the mall was frightening. No policing of one-way systems, no social distancing. Okay, have you experienced similar in other shopping centres? Let me know. Oh, that's Leanne, sorry, is on the line. Hi, Leanne.
Hi, how are you?
Sorry, Leanne, I just read out your message. Didn't think you were coming on. So, come here. I'm sure, without having a go with the particular shopping centre in mind, you said there wasn't much distancing when you went in.
You know, queuing outside stores, which is, I totally agree with. You get into the stores, it feels like following you around. There's no kind of policing, distancing within the stores. And I know that should be up to the people to do themselves, but there's always one person that seems to be following you around and just won't keep their distance from you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you exit the stores, and within the actual it was just a wreck. I wouldn't like to say Christmas, but there was just swarms of people. You know, the mall themselves did try to put in place one-way system. I could see the markings on the floor. Nobody adhering to it at all. It was actually frightening. I was like, I'm out of here. I had one of my kids with me, so I left.
It kind of feels like the floodgates have opened a little bit with people, that they're able to head out now, and they are.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's gone now. It's all over. Yeah. Let's move on with our lives. Now, why did you have to go out in the first place?
Well, look, to be honest with you, I had a communion a few weeks ago. I'd made many purchases online trying to avoid the stores. I'd ordered several pairs of shoes for my little boy to see which ones would be the right ones. Ended up with a couple of pairs of shoes that needed returning, and it was what I thought would be the most convenient way to go about getting it all done in one go, was just heading there and getting them all brought back. In hindsight, I should have just returned them through the postal service, but I have a couple of kids, and I was just trying to get it done in one shot, really. So, but like I said, I'll be avoiding it from now on, so I will.
All right, Leanne, thanks for coming on Dublin Talks.
No worries, thank you.
Good to speak to you. The main thing has been gyms. People getting in touch saying they were a bit iffy about heading back to the gym, but there you go, Leanne out shopping. She said it's just not shopping centre friendly yet, and by shopping centre I mean the big malls, you know, and she's just said it was just a lot of people roaming around. I'd love to know from people, yes or no, have you been to the cinema yet? Because we were talking about this morning when we were discussing the topics, and Jeremy mentioned that he had gone to the cinema and that a few people were a bit negative about it. I've been to the cinema in the last, I think maybe it was a month ago I went. It was very quiet. It was all handled really, really well. But like I was saying, I wasn't telling people that I went, you know. So let me know, yes or no, have you been to the cinema? I'm on 087 798 98 98 and let me know your thoughts. But we've got to move on. And what we're moving on to is up on the Facebook page, and a lot of people getting involved in it already. When you see the photograph, you will understand why. Katie Price, always in the news, rarely for positive things. Katie Price has come under fire because she has posted pictures of herself and her youngest daughter wearing heavy makeup. Now, when we started discussing this morning, Jeremy said her daughter's wearing makeup. And I was like, yeah, princess. She's like 12 or 13 at this stage. What's the big deal? No, the youngest daughter, Bunny, she's 6. Full face of slap, right? Up on Instagram, the two of them having their hair done. They'd Coke cans for rollers. And full face of, like, we're talking flicky black eyeliner, contour lipstick, the works. There's been a seriously negative reaction to it, and I would like to hear from you. Do you agree with most of the people attacking Katie Price? Now, as I said, she gets a hard time over most things she does, but is this just very irresponsible? A 6-year-old wearing makeup. Now, as always, there have been people to row in behind her on her Instagram feed, on her own personal one, saying, listen, kids love makeup. Generally, little girls are into makeup, but I'm just going to say kids in general. You know, they see their parents getting done up. They, you know, monkey see, monkey do. They want to do what their parents are doing, and they love all the bits and pieces and the pots and things and the makeup brushes and all that. What is the problem with the 6-year-old wearing makeup? Is it just, part of growing up, is experimenting, is kind of watching her mum do it? What is the big deal? So let me know if maybe you have a child of a similar age. Take a look at the picture on Katie Price's Instagram. It's up on our Facebook page. And let me know your thoughts, because maybe it's a bit much for you, or maybe you don't think it's a big deal at all. Get involved. I'm on 087 7 98 98 98. How young is too young for a child to be wearing makeup? We have Liz on the line. Hiya, Liz.
Hiya.
Liz, 6-year-old, face full of makeup. What are your thoughts?
I just don't think it's that big a deal for people to be giving out about. Like, anyone that interacts with kids that small now, that like when they see them all putting on makeup, they want it on. I just don't see why the reaction is so bad. To be honest with you, I really don't. I just think it's all a bit much. Different if you were doing the child's face up to bring her in. Do you know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, Liz, because when I looked at it this morning, I was like, yeah, listen, she was probably doing her own makeup. The little one started experimenting, but it kind of looks like she did it, she's done her up.
Yeah, and I get that, but it'd be different if she was out there doing a face full of makeup to bring her in. But like that, she was probably just doing her own, and the child wanted it, and so she done it for her. Like as you said, in the picture, she had Coke cans in her hair, for crying out loud. It's not like they were going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for all you know, 10 minutes later, she took that off the child.
But do you know what I think a lot of people have an issue with, Liz, is that where does that lead then? Like the next time they're going out, does the little one want makeup on then? Yeah,
but who's to say that she's going to put it on then?
I know, but you know what kids are like.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, if she's any kind of decent parent, she probably wouldn't put it on the child going out. You know what I mean? It could be just something they were doing when they were in the house. I just think the overreaction is a bit much. Like, it is a bit of an overreaction. Like, they're giving a load of stick on it online over it. But then I don't see the point of her putting things like that online anyway, so.
Well, talk to me about her putting it up online. Like, that's a public profile. The whole world is going to see it. So, do you agree with that?
Well, what people do with their own kids, their own business in regards to putting them online. But I just think if she wasn't expecting any negative backlash, well, then she's an idiot. Because, no, but really, let's be honest, most people get good and bad reactions when they put stuff online. And if you're going to go to the extreme of putting the child, giving her a full face of makeup, you're going to get some people that love to just troll celebrities anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And just give them abuse. Do you know what I mean? So she can't do right for doing wrong. She was probably having a fun day with a little girl, put a picture online, and now all of this is coming out from it. As I said, for all we know, she took the makeup off 10 minutes later.
All right. Fair enough, Liz. Good to talk to you on Dublin Talks today.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming on. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I mean, look, Liz makes a good point. Katie Price, she can do no right much of the time. But in your own life, when you were growing up, at what age did you start wearing makeup or starting to dress more grown up, things like that? And, kids love putting on makeup and playing with lipstick and things like that. And look, stereotypically, it is something that little girls love doing, but I'm sure there's little boys out there as well, put on a whack of lipstick, things like that. But I think what a lot of people have issue with is actually what a good job this child has done of her makeup. My friend sent me photographs recently of her daughter with a face full of lipstick. Now, it was all over her teeth and it was on her eyelids and everything. She couldn't tell what was what. She just lashed it all over her face. But this is makeup artist standard. The lipstick is perfect. The eyeliner is on point. And I think that's what a lot of people have issue with, is that the child looks an awful lot older than she is. Do you think it's acceptable? Is there anything wrong with a child wearing makeup? And what is the appropriate age for a child to start wearing makeup? Get involved in the conversation. You can WhatsApp on 087 798 98 98. Olivia says, my daughter is 10. She's wearing eyeglass and foundation. What is the big deal? So is there certain things that you're more lenient about? Does it start with a bit of lip gloss? Does it move then to a bit of blusher or whatever? But full face of makeup, this little girl is 6. You know, and I think that's what a lot of people are having issue with it is that it is just a little too much. And that, you know, even one word someone used on Facebook is that it's sexualising the child. Do you think that's very extreme, or do you feel no, that is absolutely what is happening here and it's irresponsible to put the photograph up? Liz also mentioned that, you know, a lot of people will let their kids play with makeup and things like that, but just maybe don't post it online. Let me know your thoughts. You can WhatsApp 087 798 98 98. Kevin is on the line. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, sir. Not too bad at all. You're a dad, Kevin?
I am, of 2 twins.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, look, I know people with triplets, so I got off easy. You know,
Are they, what are they, 2 girls?
Yeah.
2 girls.
I couldn't do boys.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And tell me this, sorry, did you say how old they are?
They're 11.
They're 11.
12.
Oh, listen.
12 in a couple of months.
The fun times are about to roll, Kevin.
I was going to say something, I won't say it on the air. Yes, they already have.
Oh, God. Okay, so what kind of stuff are we talking now? Are they into makeup already?
One is and one isn't, believe it or not. They're kind of north and south. One can say, at their age, I can see them kind of seeing what mummy does or mammy does, whichever way you want to say it. And I can understand that. And they kind of, one kind of, not bothered about that. And one is kind of like, the other one is kind of like, yeah, can I try this? And they're just, the nails. See, they'll get maybe the nails or earrings. Mm-hmm. Like they got their ears pierced only a year ago. And that's about it. That's as far as it goes. They wouldn't go to a beauty spa with their mother or be into or even ask for anything like that.
Okay.
So, and that's at the age of nearly 12. So I don't know I don't know why, like you hear about girls being born, and as soon as they're a year or two, that their ears are being pierced. It's like, why?
Stop. Ears pierced is a topic all on its own, Kevin. We'll have to get to that another day, because I know people have really strong feelings on that. But yeah, there is this with little girls, dressing them up, making them fancy, you know, and makeup is part of that.
Of course it is. It's a part of growing up, and I heard the person say earlier on, monkey see, monkey do. They want to sample it, and if it's not for them, but you moderate it. You don't give them makeup. They kind of, can I have a bit of that? Yeah, you give them a bit of that, and just a sample. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because kids are losing their youth, their childhood, because they're looking to grow up so quickly, and as you know, social media and everything else, and they want to glamorise themselves. They want to look like the person who looks better than they do, and okay. But parents, for the majority, I would say, can rein that in and kind of just go, look, when you're older, we'll stage by stage. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. One thing at a time.
Stage.
What are your thoughts now? Katie Price's little one, Bunny, is 6.
I know. I'm look. Right. I might get slated for this. Some people are meant to be parents. Some aren't. Okay, what I mean by that, Peter, her ex-husband, born to be a parent, and I don't think she's kind of all in on the parenting deal. That's my personal opinion. This is the same woman who got some guy in England, right? She made herself bankrupt only recently, broke her 2 feet on holiday, and got some guy to donate her £10,000 to buy a pimped out wheelchair. It's fluorescent pink. It's got diamonds in it.
I've seen it.
In the back of it.
Yeah.
Right now, and she's bankrupt apparently. So if
listen, lots of people have lots of opinions on Katie Price, Kevin, but I've no doubt she loves her kids.
Yeah,
you know?
no, I'm sure she does, but there's stages, right? Like, how can I put this without sounding like a total idiot? There's pure love and there's love, right? As far as I'm concerned, Peter loves his children with pure love, and I think she has stages of love. You know, when it suits her.
Oh, harsh words, Kevin. But look,
but that's
your
the way
opinion.
the
way it comes across.
If you're doing this and you know you're in the public eye, what do you expect is going to happen?
Yeah, Liz made that point as well. Yeah. I know what you mean.
You'll never see Peter do it.
He keeps those kids quite. Now, this little one, Bunny, is actually not Peter's child. Kieran Hayler is Bunny's dad.
But
I know what you're saying.
Any of their children together. You never see them in the public eye. They're never in the papers. There's no reports about him. I think it's Harvey is his son.
No, Dwight York is Harvey's dad. Junior and Princess are Peter Andre's, and then Kieran Hayler, she has 2 more kids with. I think. So, correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone knows more about Katie Price than me,
I'm not. I take your word for that. All I'm saying is that you never see any reports or any bad publicity with Peter Andre and his children. You never see them anywhere.
I know, but it's this is going back to the makeup and the child wearing the makeup, Kevin. So yes or no?
It's ridiculous. 6 years of age.
6 years of age. Okay.
By the time she's 10.
Yeah.
And she's going to be getting the lips done, and then God knows what else she's going to want done. And the thing is with Katie, she'll allow it because that's what she grew up with.
Fair enough, Kevin. No, listen, I take your point. I think people will agree with you. I'd love to hear if you disagree with Kevin, though, and thanks so much for coming on. Kevin has 2 daughters. They're almost 12. He just thinks 6 is way too young for the makeup. Would you agree? Let me know. 087 7 98 98 98. Sharon is next. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for hanging on there, Sharon. You have a young child.
I do. I've actually got 2 girls, 9 and 4.
Okay. And is makeup a thing in your house?
Yeah, it is, and I think it just stems from the age difference. Like me personally, I'm quite a young parent, so I'm into fake tan. I would do the whole lashes and everything when I go out, full face makeup, and stuff. And so my girls see that and they're around that.
And what do they want to wear fake tan? Do they want to look like Mammy?
It's not necessarily the fake tan; it's the makeup. So. My 9-year-old has no interest in it, but the 4-year-old does. She's massively interested in it and wants to do her face and wants to get her makeup done and stuff.
And you let her?
Well, yeah, if I'm sitting here and I'm doing it, and she's like, "Oh, will you please do me too?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'll do you too." Mm-hmm. And I don't see any problem with it. It's no different than doing. For me, it's no different than doing glitter tattoos with them or doing face paint. It's the exact same situation. The people that sexualise it are the only ones that see sexualisation from it. I don't put makeup on to make myself sexualised. I make myself because
you
that's
enjoy
what I want
it.
to do.
Yeah, I
and
understand.
I can have fun with it. I can make bright colours. I don't wear makeup out just, I'd wear makeup out just going to the shop. Mm-hmm. And it might be bright colours and stuff because I like to have fun with it.
And do you worry about the 4-year-old, Sharon, wanting to wear makeup then all the time? Or is it just, it's playing as far as you're concerned when she's doing the makeup beside you?
No, because I remember myself, for my own self-esteem when I was growing up, makeup kind of gave me that comfort. Growing up, I was a little bit more shy and stuff, and makeup gave me a slightly more confident situation about myself that, I can perceive myself differently if I put on this makeup and so on. And it just allowed me to feel that way. And I've no problem with them, wanting that kind of safety net, so to speak. The baby wipe at the end of the day is gone.
Would you worry?
It's not permanent. And I have tattoos and everything. I would never... I see girls growing up nowadays. Yes, it's a different generation that's growing up now, but we have to understand we were different than our own parents. Mm-hmm. And our own parents' views would be different than ours.
Yeah.
And yeah, we feel so strongly about those views.
Would you worry, you heard Kevin there and his thoughts on Katie Price and the daughter wearing someone, my thing I suppose with Katie Price's daughter Bunny is that the makeup is perfect. It's not a child playing, it's a full face of pretty well applied makeup.
The difference is because it's done well rather than poor.
Yeah, that it's
Katie Price obviously has access to extremely good makeup, and she's obviously very good at doing her own. I wouldn't sit here and destroy my daughter's face with makeup and not do it the same way I would do my own. I wouldn't put lashes on or anything like that, but it's no different than kids doing the Irish dancing where they're, they have the fake tan, the big hair and so on. And it's for me, it's in the safety of my own home, and she's only 4, and that's what she's sitting there, and she's like, "No, I look just like Mummy," but I'm like, "You look just like Mummy without the makeup as well."
Yeah, fair enough, Sharon. And you seem very measured in it.
I think at the moment, this whole situation is around her parenting, and not necessarily the fact that, like, had this been anyone else, I 100% think that they would be like, oh look, she's just playing at home with the child.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough, Sharon. And maybe that's it. People are being particularly harsh on Katie Price. Lovely to speak to you today. Thank you for coming on Dublin Talks. Good to have you on the show. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Is it that the makeup, I was saying that I think it's that the makeup is quite well done, that it's like the child is ready to go out of the house wearing the makeup. That if a child is playing with makeup, that, you know, it's a bit more playful, I suppose. Sharon's like, no, I don't agree with that. I think if my daughter wants her makeup done, you would do it properly. It's just part of growing up. It's experimenting. There's nothing wrong with it. Well, today I would like to hear from you. What is the right age to allow a child to wear makeup? Would you let her out of the house wearing the makeup? Put her up on social media? Do you think it's acceptable for a young child to wear makeup? Get involved in the conversation. You can drop me a WhatsApp. You can leave me a voice note as well. I'm on 087 798 98 98.
The sound of the city, from Drumcondra to Dorky.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Good morning. If you're just getting involved, it's Lauren Kelly standing in for Adrian Kennedy today on Dublin Talks, and I would love to hear from you. I'm on 087 798 98 98. You can WhatsApp or voice note. What we're discussing at the moment is makeup and young children, and whether or not you think it's acceptable for a young child to wear makeup. How young is too young, in your opinion? Let me know your thoughts. Lizzie is on the line. Hang on, Lizzie, I'll get you there now. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks very much. Thanks for getting involved in the conversation. You heard a little earlier on, Katie Price sparked this off because Bunny, her 6-year-old, has a full face of makeup on Instagram. What do you think?
Well, again, I like that listener earlier on said, if it was another, if it was Vogue Williams or somebody else, like, we'd probably accept it a little bit more because of the associations that we have with Katie Price. It probably puts the fear of God into a lot of the mothers out there, being like, oh, well, that's what Katie's going to raise her child to be like, is going to be like her, and this is the start of it. Mm-hmm. And I think any mother or any father of a girl would probably feel uncomfortable with that, and that's probably why it's going towards it, like, it's why she's probably getting such a backlash. But, like, growing up, like, I'm 27, and growing up from maybe 6 or 7, I would have just been like watching my mum, who is like a stunning person with or without makeup, but I would have been watching her every morning putting on makeup, and she would have let me and my friends play with her makeup, or probably not her expensive makeup, but like some sort of like, leftover stuff or eyeshadow stuff, and it did us no harm in terms of, like, we didn't feel less pretty or less girly or less beautiful without it. Do you get me?
Okay.
So it didn't frame it in a way, like, it wasn't put to any of us by our parents or by our older siblings that, well, like, you're not going out looking like that, as in without the makeup on. And if we had makeup on, actually, if we had makeup on, we were probably saying, you're not going out looking like that, as in you've done a terrible job, let me come in and fix you, or take that all off, it's too much. But I think it's how the parents or how the older people in the house make the young child feel while they're wearing it. So if it had been a situation where I don't leave the house now without it, that now I could look back and be like, oh, what's that about? That's an insecurity that started at a very young age. Where I like to go out looking and I'm pale and I'm Irish looking and I'm pasty, and if I have to go to work like that, or if I have to get a call to leg it over to my partner's house for some reason, or go out to a dinner that I wasn't planning, if I don't have the time to put makeup on, that's not anyone's business other than my own. And if someone was to judge me for it, then that's on them. It's not on me. It's not to do with my mum letting me play with makeup when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so without deep diving too much into the inner workings of the effect, like what we watch our parents do as kids, how it affects us, I get your point. But at the same time, I think, kids showing interest in something like their makeup. And again, I keep coming back to this point, and I know one of our earlier callers didn't agree with me, but I was like, it's the fact that it's so good kind of freaked me out a bit. It wasn't like, lipstick all over her teeth. Like, she did better winged eyeliner than I'll ever manage.
I can't do winged eyeliner. And I guess that shows that, like, she's gotten, that's not just that's probably not her first time sitting there for mum or whoever it was, or, she's probably quite used to getting that. And maybe that's where you kind of go, like, well, whose needs are being met there? So it's probably a little bit too much for a kid to be asked to just sit there for what, like, she probably may not, or maybe it's just because that's what she sees around her. Maybe all the women in her life, like all the role models in her life, are perfectly done up, so she's like as a 6-year-old, doesn't want to look any worse. And
Yeah.
fair, like, do you know what I mean? I didn't have too many people wearing amazing makeup. Like my mum used to wear false tan a fair bit, and I would now hate false tan, but at the time I used to realise how pale I was, and I'd be like, what's wrong with me? But I realised very quickly there's nothing wrong with me. But it is weird to think, like, if someone sat me down to do that much makeup on me as a 6-year-old, I'd get bored. You'd have half a face done, half a wing done, I'd be like, Mum, I'm done play, I'm gone out to play with my friends, bye.
Yeah,
so
not your
that's
thing.
A bit of a concern. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like that other girl who had the 4-year-old, like that could be a mammy and daughter pampering day, and she could absolutely love that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if my mum had sat me down to do curls on my hair, I'd be all for it. I'd be like, Shirley Temple coming out of it, and I didn't care for how long it took me. It took my mum. I love curly hair. So it's probably just different strokes for different folks. I'm sure I'd like to think that if Katy Price's daughter wanted to go out and play football and get mucky with the boys, that as a mother she wouldn't.
She's not pushing it on her.
So,
some great points, Lizzie. Thanks for coming on Dublin Talks today.
No problem. It was lovely listening to you.
Oh, thanks so much. Good to speak to you. I would like to know what you think is an appropriate age for a child to start wearing makeup. Let me know. Just the age. Just text in if you can just send a quick message and let me know what do you think is an appropriate age for a child to start wearing makeup. 0877 98 98 98. Angela's next. Hi, Angela.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks very much. What are your thoughts on this topic, Angela?
Oh, way too young. Way too young. I have a niece who's, she's turning 16 in December. And I'd say, I think it's around 13, 14 that she started wearing makeup, and that's fine. But 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, that's a disgrace. What you're actually...
disgrace.
I think it's a disgrace. What you're teaching a child at that age is you're not pretty enough. You're not pretty enough. So we need to put makeup on you.
Is that what it's about?
Well, but that's what you're basically saying. Like, why else would you put makeup on the child? There's no need. You put makeup on to make yourself feel better. That's what everyone puts makeup on is. They want to go out, they want to feel better, they want to look better. That's what you do with a 6-year-old.
Maybe she's watching the mum putting on the makeup and she's like, I want to have a go with that. And, she's just watching what her mummy is doing and she's doing it as well. Is that not playing?
Yeah, there's playing now, and there's, we know Katy Price is notorious for, I've gone blank now on the kids' names, but like, they've always put makeup on them, so it's not just a once-off thing, not just a weekly thing. I think it's more like daily. Like, if she gets her makeup done, so does the child. And you can have fun. But that's having the child's makeup done absolutely to perfection is not having fun.
This was the point I was making earlier on to someone who was saying, I was like, the makeup is so good, like really, really good that it's not home playing. I'm like, I was wondering, did the child go out looking like that?
Yeah. Oh, I'd say so, very much. And I'm not saying that all makeup damages skin and everything, but a 6-year-old's skin is not ready for makeup. It's not. And I think what they're doing is ridiculous.
Now, I feel when I'm out and about, let's say I'm in the supermarket and I see a child wearing makeup or, they're dressed in something like a costume or whatever, I kind of go, bless. The child obviously wanted to dress up. I don't think, wow, what a terrible parent for letting the child out like that. I'm like, that child probably wanted to wear that. And the mother was like, I'm going to pick my battles, or the father, and they let them out. It's not that big a deal.
There's a difference now between putting clothes on a child and makeup.
What's the difference, do you think?
Massive difference. Well, because makeup makes you more grown up.
Okay.
And that's putting on a tutu and a little, vest top.
That's cute.
Is cute. Putting on makeup like that, no. If you see a child come out with makeup all over their face and lipstick all over their lips, then yeah, it's like, oh, they had fun, but not like this.
How does it make you feel? Is it a bit uneasy? What is it about it?
I think it's just uneasy. I think it's, it's hard to explain. I just think you're teaching kids at that age that they, you need to have makeup to look pretty. That's what mommy does.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing that with them at that age, like it's not good. It's not good.
All right, Angela. Good to speak to you on Dublin Talks today. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thanks.
Thanks so much for your time. Do you agree with Angela? Is it just a little uncomfortable seeing a child made up? And what is it? What does that say about us? Are we the problem that we're uncomfortable with seeing that child wearing makeup at 6 years of age? Really, really well applied makeup, by the way. 0877 98 98 98. I've got a few WhatsApp voice notes here. Dan reckons that's just girls.
But it's little girls. What are you going to do? They're going to paint themselves and do all this kind of stuff. Once they're not going out anywhere with it on them, they can play in the house, leave them to it.
So once you stay in the house and you don't go out like that. And I think that point has come up a few times today, that it's like, right, yes, if it's for home and it's playing, but we're not bringing her out of the house like that. Like, let's say you saw a child out and about. Maybe you have. What is it? Like, what do you think our problem is with a young child wearing makeup? 0877 98 98 98. Sharon is next and says absolutely too young.
Hi, I think 16, because I have seen children younger, like including my own granddaughter, who's 13, and I think it destroys their skin.
The skin is something that Angela mentioned there as well, that it's just a lot on a young child's skin. So no, 16, Angela says, is well time to start wearing makeup. What are your thoughts on that? One more WhatsApp voice note for you on this one.
Hi guys, I'm Shauna. I'm actually a hairdresser and makeup artist, and I've worked in a lot of countries, but anyways, I think it's absolutely disgraceful that you put makeup on children. I think the major two factors is, one, you're saying that their natural body is not acceptable in the world, that they should change or conform to society. You're also putting them in links of competitions with other girls. There's an endless supply of demand in terms of it's always ongoing. So you start with lips, you start with eyes, then you'll move on to skin, Botox, fillers, hair, clothes, accessories. It's just way too young to start them in that. You're really wrecking their minds. Aside of that, I think it's quite overly sexualized in terms of teenage boys. Boys will always look at girls, and girls, their minds aren't ready, to be, approached and looked at.
Yeah, Shauna makes a really good point. Like, it's a lot of what the message you're sending to a young child. And I think a few people, Angela made that point earlier on, is that like, what kind of message is that sending to a young child of 6? Is like, here's what mummy does, or daddy, listen, mums are not the only ones wearing makeup. And I've made that point before, that generally speaking, stereotypically speaking, we're talking about mums putting on makeup and little girls putting on makeup, but all children, I think, are interested in makeup and want to have it applied and want to see what you're doing. They want to do whatever it is that their parents are doing. Niamh is next on Dublin Talks.
I hear she did not do that winged eyeliner herself. I teach senior infants who are 6 years old, and they can barely hold a pencil, so I'm not buying it.
I love that, Niamh. Listen, the winged eyeliner, I was like really, really envious of it when I saw it initially. Keep your thoughts coming in on that one. The conversation, as always, is continuing on the Facebook page, but I've been told that this is very important on a Friday on Dublin Talks. Good News Friday. So listen, there's been a lot of serious stuff. Oh, I like that now, actually. Why wasn't I playing that the whole way through the show? Put everyone in good form on a Friday morning. If you have good news you want to share with Dublin Talks today, I would like to hear it. You can call 67979 981, or you can drop me a WhatsApp voice note or a message. I'm on 087 798 98 98. Share your good news with the team today. God knows we need it.
The sound of the city, from Kilbarrack to Kiltiernan.
This is 98 FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
Now, coming up to the end of the show, want to hear a bit of good news, please? If you're just getting involved, listen, the good times are going to roll from here on in. It's Lauren Kelly in for Adrian Kennedy. on Dublin Talks today, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear good news. Let's cheer everyone up. It's been also doom and gloom the last few days. So if you have some good news you want to share, please get involved. You can drop me a message or a WhatsApp voice note. It's 087 798 98 98. It can be good news, I'm going to get my hair done. Good news, I'm going to get a burrito for my lunch. That's my good news, by the way. I'm going to get a burrito for my lunch as soon as the show is over. It could be good news, I have the day off tomorrow and I'm going to spend it with my family. It could be good news, I did an online shop. Something, the simplest things, the little things that are just making you happy today. I want to hear your good news on Dublin Talks this morning. Leah has got some great news.
I am officially on holidays until the 1st of September after today. Woo! Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Leah. That is great news. And listen, there's no good news like that holiday kind of feeling. So can you beat Leah? Have you got even better news than that? Or maybe, as I said, it's just something little. You did an online shop and it arrived. You're getting a burrito for your lunch. I haven't decided what burrito I'm getting yet. Share your good news. Cheer everyone else up. That would be so, so lovely. This is from, we think it's Amelia. Have a listen to Amelia's good news. It's very sweet.
Hi, my name's Amelia Lilly and I am... my good news today is that I have 2 more days with my daddy and I've eaten twice at football last night.
Oh my goodness, Amelia Lilly. Sorry, I just said Amelia. Amelia, that is wonderful news. 2 more days with your daddy and you ate twice watching the football last night. That is brilliant. So Amelia, Lily and Daddy have a brilliant 2 days. That is great news. Share your good news on Dublin Talks. Here's Jenny.
Hi, my good news is that it's my 30th birthday on Monday and I'm now on a week's holiday as well. Woohoo! It's Jenny from Swords.
Hi, Jenny from Swords. Happy birthday. And the thing about COVID birthdays, Jenny, is you can milk them for as long as you want. Anyone who has had a birthday during COVID, I think you deserve to get a few days out of it. You know, really, really push the boat out and make a big fuss of your birthday because it's been hard. And I think anyone who's had to celebrate anything during COVID, it's been really, really difficult. So that is great news for you, Jenny and Swords. Enjoyed that. I think Amelia Lilly has kind of stolen the show a bit. So if you have any little people nearby and they want to record their good news, do share 087 798 98 98 and share your good news today. I was saying my good news is I'm going for a burrito with my friend Aoife straight after the show, so I'm really excited about that. It could just be something simple. It could be a holiday break away with the family. Emily says, good news, we're getting pizza to the office for lunch. There is no feeling quite like the feeling, and it's probably something people haven't experienced in a number of months now, is getting your lunch into work. Remember the days you'd get a delivery in? It's just so, so exciting. And obviously it hasn't happened a lot in the last few months. So the little wins today, I think, for people. Good news, like getting pizza into the office. Oh, I forgot about my music there. It is still playing. Just, I suppose, Amelia was very quiet. Some of the people are very quiet on the line, so I have to turn it down. 087 798 98 98 with your good news on Dublin Talks today. Would be so lovely to hear it. Eamon says, it's Eamon from Clondalkin on the road to Westport for the weekend with my wife and 3 girls. Happy holiday staycation. And listen, staycations are where it's at. I was down in Roundstone a couple of weeks ago and oh my God, could have been the Bahamas. It was so gorgeous. And you don't even need the amazing weather at the moment. You just need a little bit of sunshine. And sure, look, if it is raining in Westport, not the end of the world. I think Eamon is there on the line. Hi, Eamon.
How are we doing?
Hello there, heading to Westport.
Yeah, heading out to Westport at the moment. We're just passing down the news. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Can everyone in the car hear me?
They can indeed, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, they all sound like happy heads, Eamon. That's good news. Have you had this planned for a while?
I've had a plan, yeah. We should actually be in Lanzarote at the moment. We should have went there yesterday. So when that got cancelled and there was, we booked us instead, you know, so...
Who needs Lanzarote? Am I right?
Who needs Lanzarote when you have Ireland, exactly.
This is it. So what's the plan when you get to Westport?
Well, weather dependent, I suppose. We want to take a walk on the beach or something like that, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thanks for coming on. Who have we got in the car, Eamon?
Well, I have myself, my wife Karen, my eldest daughter Caitlin, my middle daughter Jade, and my baby Robin.
Oh, brilliant. Well, safe travels and thanks for coming on. Lovely to speak to you all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Eamon. Bye. Oh, that's a happy car staycation time. I absolutely love it. Has anyone else got plans for a staycation this weekend? We have Ava, I think, is it, on the on WhatsApp?
Hi, my name is Avian, and my good news is that we got McDonald's breakfast today.
Winning at life, Avian. McDonald's for breakfast, you can't beat it. Now, what did you get? I would like a few more details than that, please. 0877 98 98 98. My good news, says this listener, is I left the house for the first time in 6 months today, just to take the bin in. I feel alive again. Keith, we are with you. Well done. And there are so many people who've been locked up for a while now and haven't been outside the door. So like I said, it doesn't have to be a big deal today. You don't have to be going on a staycation. If you are, we'd love to hear from you. But it can just be the little wins today that might be worth celebrating. God knows we all need a bit of good news at the moment. So if you have a bit of good news for Good News Friday, share it. It would be so lovely to hear. You can drop me a voice note if you don't want to come on. I'm on 0877 98 98 98. Avian, I want to hear more details about the McDonald's breakfast if you're still there. I should have Brian on the line next. Hiya, Brian. Brian is gone. I believe it was wonderful news though. Keep them coming in. I mentioned my good news today is I'm going for a burrito after the show today. If anyone has any inspo of maybe what I should get in the burrito, haven't yet decided that would be wonderful. If you're piling the family into the car like Eamon heading to Westport, safe travels. The sun is kind of shining, peeking through the clouds. I mean, it's not incredible weather, but it is just great to be getting out and about and doing things a little differently. Pizza into the office from Emily. I mean, that's just a win on its own. So yeah, lots and lots worth celebrating today on Good News Friday. Get involved, share your news with me. It would be brilliant to hear. Steph says, good news, guys. The kittens that I've agreed to foster are arriving this afternoon. Have the house all set up for them and ready to go. Cannot wait to see their little faces. That is amazing, Steph, and good on you. I think people who foster pets are so wonderful, and it's hard that you don't get to hang on to them, but so exciting to get them into the house. My friend fostered cats recently and they've all gone off to their homes now, but she had such a ball with them. So brilliant, Steph. That's good news worth sharing, and great to have you on Dublin Talks. 0877 98 98 98. Eileen, you're off to the cinema. Eileen, where are you gonna me? I don't have Eileen online for it. Yeah, we'll get Eileen back in a second. It's all go at the moment. Now, we mentioned the cinema earlier on, and I was saying about people not kind of mentioning to people that they were going to the cinema. But I think, it's something worth celebrating today if you're getting out of the house in any way. Eileen, are you there? Yeah. Eileen, hi, sorry, I don't know what I'm doing wrong there, Eileen. Yeah. Bear with me. Sorry, now you're going to the cinema.
Yeah, myself and my daughter are going to cinema for the first time today, for a long time.
I mentioned earlier on that people might be a bit iffy about going to the cinema. Were you a bit nervous?
No, because when you book the 2 seats, all the seats around you are allocated then, so you're in your own.
That's the dream.
Like if we book 2, there's 10 seats empty. Yeah.
Now,
so it should be okay.
Big decision. It's been a long time since you've been to the cinema. What are you going to see?
Pinocchio.
The original Disney Pinocchio?
No, it's not a cartoon. It's people in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the cinemas are showing older films now, obviously, because there's not many new ones coming out. Am I right?
Yeah.
Is this a new one?
I think it is, yeah.
Oh, and Tom Hanks is in it. Wow. Jeremy is telling me. Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's, now what are you going to get to eat? I'm all about the food. Nachos.
The nachos, yeah.
Right,
you can order them online and just pick them up.
And pick them up when you go in. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Eileen, I hope you and your daughter have a great night.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Mel.
Fair play to you. Thanks so much for coming on Dublin Talks. And really quick, just before I go, we've Gordon lastly on the WhatsApp voice notes.
What's the crack? On my way over to work for the first time in 6 months to get COVID screens put in, and it feels like it's Christmas. Happy Friday!
Oh, happy Friday, Gordon. We'll end on that note. Some great news in there. Delighted to celebrate it with you all. As I said, we need a little pick-me-up every now and again. Thanks so much for getting in touch today. Great having you. Lauren Kelly in for Adrian Kennedy. I'm off to get that burrito.